Hello and welcome back to my channel Christian Faith and Fiction. My name's Lou and today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the Christian fiction new book releases that are coming out in July 2021. As always, I've split the books up into different genres. If you have any other books to add to the list that you want to share with the community, then please do add them down in the comments below. So starting with historical fiction, we have A Man with a Past by Mary Connealy, and this book releases on the 6th of July. And I'm going to read out the first paragraph of the description to give you an idea of the book. Falcon Hunt awakens without a past, or at least not one he can recall. He's got brothers he can't remember, and he's interested in the prettiest woman in the area, Cheyenne. Only trouble is, a few flashes of memory make Falcon wonder if he's already married. He can't imagine abandoning a wife, but his pa did just that twice. When Falcon claims his inheritance in the West, Cheyenne is cut out of the ranch she was raised on, leaving her bitter and angry. And then Falcon kisses her, adding confusion and attraction to the mix. The Ice Swan by Ciesielski releases on the 6th of July. Amid the violent last days of the glittering Russian monarchy, a princess on the run finds her heart where she least expects it. 1917 Petrograd, fleeing the murderous flames of the Russian Revolution, Princess Svetlana Dulski hopes to find safety in Paris with her mother and sister. But the city is buckling under the weight of the Great War, and the Bolsheviks will not rest until they have erased every Russian aristocrat from memory. Svetlana and her family are forced into hiding in Paris's underbelly, with little to their name but the jewels they sewed into their corsets before their terrifying escape. If It Rains by Jennifer L. Wright also releases on the 6th of July. It's 1935 in Oklahoma, and lives are determined by the dust. 14-year-old Catherine Bale, a Spitfire born with a severe clubfoot, is coming of age in desperate times. Once her beloved older sister marries, Catherine's only comfort comes in the well-worn pages of her favourite book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Then Catherine's father decides to relocate to Indianapolis, and only the promise of a surgery to finally make her normal convinces Catherine to leave Oklahoma behind. But disaster strikes along the way, and Catherine must rely on her grit and the ragged companions she meets on the road if she is to complete her journey. Forever My Own by Tracie Peterson releases on the 6th of July. In 1871, Kirsten Hallberg arrives in Duluth, Minnesota, to find the city council intent on building a canal and ensuring the city's rise to greatness. She comes to care for her elderly grandmother, Lena Sedgeson, only to discover Lena very full of life and full of secrets. For when Kirsten opens the front door one day, she finds the brother she long thought dead on the other side. Domar begs his sister to say nothing to their parents, viewing their grief as payment for falsely accusing him of bad behaviour years prior and driving him from their Swedish village. Caught between her brother's wishes and the chance to ease her family's pain, Kirsten doesn't know which decision is right. In biblical fiction, Between the Wild Branches by Connilyn Cossette releases on the 6th of July. 10 years ago, Lucio fled Kiryat Yearim, where he'd been adopted by the Levite family who guarded the Ark of the Covenant. Feeling betrayed by everyone, he returned to his birthplace in Philistia to become a famous fighter. Now the champion of Ashdod, Lucio has achieved every goal with the help of his ruthless cousin. But just as he is set to claim the biggest prize of all, the daughter of the king, his past collides with his present in the form of Shoshana. With explosive secrets and unbreakable vows standing between them, finding a way to freedom for both may cost them everything. In mystery and suspense, The Chase by Lisa Harris releases on the 6th of July, and it looks like there's loads of books coming out on that date. US Marshal Madison James may not be sure who shot her 3 months ago, but she does know one thing: it's time to get back out into the field. When her partner, Jonas Quinn, receives a message that a federal warrant just came in on a man connected to a string of bank robberies, Madison jumps at the chance to get back to work. What she and Jonas find is a bank robbery in progress that's gone wrong, and things are about to get worse. Breach of Honour by Janice Cantore releases on the 6th of July. As a police officer in Table Rock, Oregon, Leah Radcliffe puts her life on the line to help others every day, but at home Leah's battling her own personal nightmare. Brad, her abusive husband, a fellow officer, celebrated hero and beloved son of a powerful, prominent family. Brad's violent outbursts and suspicious activities have left Leah physically and emotionally scarred, until one desperate action to put a stop to his abuse results in deadly consequences. Woman in Shadow by Carrie Stuart Parks releases on the 13th of July. A woman off the grid. Darby Graham thinks she's on a much-needed vacation in remote Idaho to relax, but before she even arrives at the ranch, an earthquake strikes, her first clue that something is amiss. Then, when a cabin on the edge of town is engulfed in flames and problems at the ranch escalate, Darby finds herself immersed in a chilling mystery. The Weight of Memory by Shawn Smucker is releasing on the 6th of July. When Paul Elias receives a terminal diagnosis, he leaves his physician's office in a fog. Only one thing is clear to him: if he is going to die, he must find someone to watch over his granddaughter Pearl, who has been in his charge since her drug-addicted father disappeared. Paul decides to take her back to Nicer, both the place where he grew up and the place where he lost his beloved wife under strange circumstances 40 years earlier. In fantasy and sci-fi, Shadow, the second book in the Heirs of Neverland series by Kara Swanson, is coming out on the 13th of July. I'm not going to read the description for this book because it will contain spoilers for book 1, but basically this is a sequel to Peter Pan, and Peter Pan is stuck in London and can't get back and needs to find a girl, Claire, I think her name is, and Claire is suffering from what she thinks is a skin condition where dust comes off of her skin, but it has kind of powers to it. So she doesn't know who she is, and she is looking for her brother who has disappeared. Daystar is the 5th book in Firebird series by Kathy Tyers, and this is re-releasing in audiobook on the 27th of July. Then in contemporary books, The Nature of Small Birds by Susie Finkbeiner is releasing on the 6th of July. In 1975, 3,000 children were airlifted out of Saigon to be adopted into Western homes. When Mindy, one of those children, announces her plans to return to Vietnam to find her birth mother, her loving adopted family is suddenly thrown back to the events surrounding her unconventional arrival in their lives. Told through 3 strong voices in 3 compelling timelines, The Nature of Small Birds is a hopeful story that explores the meaning of family far beyond genetic code. Finally, in romance, This Time Around by Denise Hunter, Melissa Ferguson and Kathleen Fuller releases on the 13th of July. This is a compilation of 3 different stories. I'm assuming they're novellas. The first one is A Summer Detour by Denise Hunter. In order to prove herself to her parents, free-spirited Allie Adams undertakes the responsibility of delivering her grandparents' newly restored 57 Chevy for their 50th wedding anniversary party, but an unfortunate oversight forces her to make the road trip with Luke Fletcher, the man who callously broke her heart years ago. And then Pining for You by Melissa Ferguson. Theo Watkins III is a respectable man, the kind who drives a Tesla, not a tractor, and when he discovers that the caretaker of his family-inherited Christmas tree farm is injured during planting season, he drives up to support the man who has been like a father to him. And then finally, He Loves Me Not by Kathleen Fuller. 35-year-old Sophie has spent years making her floral shop, Petals and Posies, a success, and her love life has suffered. She's avoided romance since her ex broke her heart, but now she's ready to start dating again. Make You Feel My Love by Robin Lee Hatcher is releasing on the 13th of July. A century apart, 2 women start new lives, and 2 unlikely love stories prove powerful enough to conquer fear. In 1895, Cora Anderson jumps on a cross-country train to escape New York society and her domineering father. She leaves with only some spare clothing, jewellery that once belonged to her grandmother, her cherished violin, and hopes for an uncertain future. More than 100 years later, Chelsea Spencer is fleeing a dangerous situation of her own when her great-aunt's antique shop in Chickadee Creek becomes the perfect haven. At the same time, up-and-coming Hollywood star Liam Chandler has returned to the town of his ancestors to grieve some painful family losses and ponder the direction of his career. So those were the books that I've managed to find. Let me know in the comments if any of them sound interesting to you, and of course if you want to add any other books to the list, please do so below. Thank you so much to everyone who has liked, commented, shared or subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate that. I hope you have a really great reading week, and till next time, God bless, take care. Bye!